Jadíh go léir agus fáilte romh ag an tearmanais seo. Smise póla Dochartaigh uachtar an ionid agus meoraní na hOllscoile seo. Agus is cúis aithí sé dú fáilte chorómh go dtí Ollscoil na hÉireann Gaillimh ar an lá spéisiúil seo. Tá grú poblí dhéanú ar a bhí ganhar goid cuasaí léinn le bliantas. Tá mór a bhéile in na hOllscoile tain, agus ácaid níos mó agus níos tábhachtaí arís don mar saoil hain. Go mairis a bhfuair géimeocht dúr, agus cíam gachra armh sa téile tá romh amach mar chéimithe de chuid HÉireann Gaillimh. I'm Professor Paul O'Doherty, Deputy President and Registrar of this university, and on behalf of the National University of Ireland, Galway, I want to extend to you all a very warm welcome to this virtual conferring ceremony. To you, the graduates, I say that in awarding these degrees today, we are publicly acknowledging and paying tribute to your intelligence, hard work, and dedication to the course of studies that has brought you to this point. The honour conferred on you today represents an important milestone in what I hope will be distinguished, fulfilling, and rewarding lives and careers. In these special circumstances, we are conducting this ceremony online, but I very much hope that in due course you and we will be able to share and celebrate your achievement with your families and friends and the academic community generally, all of whom have contributed in a variety of ways to this, your academic success. Graduations are an appropriate celebration of that success, and in this university we use Latin, Irish, and English to mark the occasion. Graduations are a tradition that spans many centuries. In Ireland, they go all the way back to the first university established in Dublin in 1320, though it no longer exists. And the tradition has continued through to the present. This year, this university celebrates 175 years since being originally one of Queen's colleges established in 1845 in Galway, Belfast, and Cork. From its very beginnings as Queen's College Galway, this university has been about ensuring that those who pass through here as students, wherever they make their future afterwards, go out into the wide world equipped with the best education that they get and that we can give them. The word university comes, in short, from the Latin Universitas Magistrorum et Scholarium, which translates as a community of teachers and scholars. And that notion of community is something we continue to cherish here. Our staff work tirelessly to bring the best of education and the best of postgraduate supervision to play, so that our students, when they face the world in a new competitive environment, can hold their heads high, knowing that they join an outstanding group of people, Galway graduates, among whose numbers are to be found many of the most illustrious figures in Irish civic, political, business, and cultural life, foremost among them, the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins. After today's ceremony, you, the graduates, will take your place in that group, and it is my fervent hope that you will do so with pride. Latin was originally the working language of the universities, and as a link to the past, we still use the language in the conferring ceremony. In the Latin formula of words used in your parchments, two things are confirmed publicly by the university: the academic quality of your word and the moral character of you as graduands. I hope that as you go through the rest of your lives as Galway graduates, you will remember and strive to uphold both of those characteristics. I would now like to introduce you to the various people present today who to this ceremony. On screen are the President of NUI Galway, Professor Ciarán hÓgartaigh, the Director of Strategic Development in the College of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, Dr. Martina, Chúlain, and presenting the students in turn are the Dean of Graduate Studies, Professor Dónal Leech, the Head of the School of Political Science and Sociology, Professor Niamh Reilly, and the Head of the School of Health Sciences, Professor Caroline McIntosh. I now hand over to Dr. Chúlain, who will open the formal proceedings in Latin.
Pre honorables prese totque universitas, hac comitia universitaria hodi convocata sunt, ut quae amamenes agradum academica admintanter, eosque presentebit professorius Leech, Reilly, et McIntosh.
Pre honorables praeses totaque universitas, College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies. Doctor of Literature degree on published work. Presenta vobis hunc meum filium, quem sciotamoribus quam doctrina habilum et idinium esse advitator, ad gradum doctoratus in litteris propter opera edita. Isque tibi fide meo tester, expondeo totique academia.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum doctoratus in litteris propter opera edita.
Paul Michael Garrett. The National University of Ireland has awarded Dr. Paul Michael Garrett the Doctor of Literature degree on published work in recognition of his scholarly achievements in the fields of social work and critical social policy. The D.Lit on published work is a higher doctorate, which is the highest level of academic qualification awarded by the university. It is awarded to scholars who have, over a sustained period, published a substantial body of groundbreaking and influential work in a field of specialization and who have achieved outstanding distinction internationally in that field. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Presenta vobis hasca meus filius philosopher meus, quos omnis sciutamoribus docam doctrina habilis et idoneus esse admentanter ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae. Isque tibi fide meo tester expondeo totique academia.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Gavin Brian Duffy is awarded a PhD in History for research supervised by Dr. Garrod Barry on the emergence of the League of Nations mandate system after the First World War. Liam Michael Farrell is awarded a PhD in Political Science for research supervised by Dr. Kevin Ryan on a post-structuralist analysis of the democratic credentials of Philip Petit's neo-republican theory of democracy. Sarah Hoover is awarded a PhD in Drama and Theatre for research supervised by Dr. Miriam Houghton on gaming audiences into theatre, reflective, effective strategies in agentive participatory performance. Mary Roisin McGill is awarded a PhD in International Cultural Studies for research supervised by Dr. Tina Karen Pusa on young women's negotiation of post-feminist neoliberal visibility through selfie practices and the rise of surveillance. Ciara Lynn Murphy is awarded a PhD in Drama and Theatre for research supervised by Dr. Miriam Houghton on performing social change on the island of Ireland 1972 to 2015. Runt our PhD ar Aisling ní Chorrachín sa Gaeilge as taobh fuistúr an Dr. Lilish O'Leary ar bhaile Béalidish Seán Iochig le Seanachia I Délan Dúnagáil Néideag a Trucacuig go Néideag a Seach go sé. Killian O'Gorman is awarded a PhD in Drama Theatre for research supervised by Professor Patrick Lonergan on the amateur theatre movement in Ireland 1932 to 1980. Pádraig Joseph O'Sion is awarded a PhD in Sociology for research supervised by Dr. Brian McGrath on the centrality of the Galway hooker to place and community in southwest Connemara. Anthony Peter Payne is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Professor Daniel Carey on a bibliography of Richard Hakluyt 1552 to 1616, the leading advocate of overseas discovery, trade and settlement. John Michael Rowe is awarded a PhD in philosophy for research supervised by Professor Fíle Cruthair O'Murchu on faith and reason in two central figures of modern thought, Kierkegaard and Kant. Jesus Rosana Garcia is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Dr. Francis McCormack and Professor Michael Clark on a reassessment of the Old English elegy in its critical, historical and contemporary cultural context. Sarah Schaefer is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Dr. Andrew O'Buil and Professor Alexander Onisko on Anglicisms in the German broadcast media. Andreas Weidlich is awarded a PhD in International Cultural Studies for research supervised by Dr. Tina Karen Pusa on self-reflective play and reading strategies of digital games. Yumin Wan is awarded a PhD in Geography for research supervised by Dr. Chao-Sheng Zhang on spatial analysis of rare earth elements and lead in urban soils of London. Doctor of Philosophy, Child and Youth Research, PhD. Rita Mary Melia is awarded a PhD in Sociology for research supervised by Dr. Cormac Forkin on preschool educators' image of the child as a learner. Hazel Coralie Walsenholm is awarded a PhD in Psychology for research supervised by Dr. Caroline Heary and Dr. Colette Kelly on family perceptions, experiences, and management of childhood fussy eating behaviours. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, Perception, Cognition and Action. Santiago Garcia Guerrero is awarded a PhD in Psychology for research supervised by Dr. Dennis O'Hora on the development of novel measures of fear and estimating approach avoidance conflict. College of Business, Public Policy and Law. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Anya Monica Roddy is awarded a PhD in Economics for research supervised by Professor Ciarán O'Neill on an examination of the economic burden of childhood autism spectrum disorders in Ireland. Jenny Rostianti is awarded a PhD in Human Rights for research supervised by Dr. Lucy Ann Buckley and Professor Gerard Quinn on the right of people to work of people with disabilities in Indonesia. College of Science and Engineering, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Engineering. Seamus Dowling is awarded a PhD in Information Technology for research supervised by Dr. Michael Shukat and Dr. Enda Barrett on research into the use of reinforced learning techniques to create adaptive honeypots. Lilia Flores Mateos is awarded a PhD in Civil Engineering for research supervised by Professor Michael Hartnett on the development of a complex mathematical numerical model for assessing marine energy resources. Pádraig McArdghail is awarded a PhD in Mechanical Engineering for research supervised by Professor Sean Lean and Dr. Noel Harrison on through-process characterization for welding, microstructure, evolution and constitutive response of steel for flexible power plants. Thibaut Marzullo is awarded a PhD in Mechanical Engineering for research supervised by Dr. Rory Monaghan, Dr. Marcus Keane and Dr. Marco Giron on a software for fast and reliable predictions of indoor thermal comfort. Valkyria Simplicio is awarded a PhD in Civil Engineering for research supervised by Professor Zinmin Zan and Dr. Owen Clifford on phosphorus recovery through adsorption using iron-modified cellulose, which was extracted from silage. Mohan Timilsina is awarded a PhD in Informatics for research supervised by Professor Matthew Dakin and Dr. Haishan Yang on contributions of database methods to graph data analytics. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Science. Cara Dooley is awarded a PhD in Statistics for research supervised by Professor John Hind and Professor John Newell on statistical methods for analysis of observational studies applied to colorectal cancer data. Dawood Roshan Sangashan is awarded a PhD in Statistics for research supervised by Professor John Newell and Dr. Ferguson on methods for generating personalised reference ranges for blood biomarkers. College of Medicine, Nursing and Health Science, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Miriam Brennan is awarded a PhD in Nursing and Midwifery for research supervised by Professor Declan Devan on the effectiveness of topical preparations in the prevention and severity of Stria gravidarum. Joshua Chow is awarded a PhD in Regenerative Medicine for research supervised by Professor Timothy O'Brien on the critical role of FAP expressing stromal cells in endogenous revascularization following ischemic insult. Swarna Raman is awarded a PhD in Medicine for research supervised by Professor Mary Murphy on how inflammation exacerbates osteoarthritis and how anti-inflammatory viral interleukin-10 could mitigate these effects. Meera Tandon is awarded a PhD in Bacteriology for research supervised by Dr. Akya Valinga and Professor Martin Cormican on antimicrobial prescribing and stewardship in an ageing population. Doctor of Medicine, D.Med. Presenta vobis hunc meum filium, cum scio tam moribus, doctrina habilum, et edenium isse qui admitator ad gradum doctorates in medicina. Ut tibi fidem meo tester, expondeo totique academia.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum doctoratus in medicina.
Razk H. Ali Abdalgwad is awarded an MD in medicine for research supervised by Professor Francis Finucane and Dr. Micheál Newell on the responses to a milk-based meal replacement program in bariatric patients. College of Science and Engineering, Master of Applied Science. Presenta vobis hanc meum filium, cum scio tam moribus, cum doctrina habilum, et idenium esse, quae admitator ad gradum magisteriae in scientia applicanda. Idque tibi fidem meo tester, expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum magisteriae in scientiae applicanda.
Megan Dolan. Master of Engineering Science. Presento vobis hanc meum filiumque meum, quos omnis sciota moribus, cum doctrina habilis neas, esse qui admentanter ad gradum magisteriae in scientiae ingenieriae. Idque tibi fidem meo tester, expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisteriae in scientiae ingenieriae.
Aoife Marie McDonough. Michael Joseph Walls. Master of Science. Presenta vobis hosca meos filios, quos omnis sciota moribus, cum doctrina habilis, et idenias esse qui adventator ad gradum magisteriae scientia. Idque tibi vidi fio tester, expondeo totique academia.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisteriae scientiae.
Stephen Murphy. Sean Michael O'Gorman. Master of Science, Astronomical Instrumentation and Technology, Kevin Anthony Devlin. Science, Computer Science and Information Technology, David Smith. Gormagid, thank you.
College of Arts, Social Sciences and Catholic Studies. Master of Arts. Presento vobis hesque meas filias filiasque meas. Quas omnes sciota moribus cum doctrina habilis et idoneas esse qui admitator ad gradum magisteri in artibus. Idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisteriae in artibus.
Master of Arts in Social Work. Thelma Chaplin. Emma Dempsey. Brian Dixon. Paula Egan. Sheila Flannery. Fiona Gallagher. Mary Hetherington. Helen Kelly. Emma Christina McCarthy. Bill McSkane. Nisarg Nagwadia. Robert Nolan. Anne O'Connor. Maeve O'Connor. Aisling O'Hara. Omoshalawa Odolkoya. Judith Clare Sweeney. Joanne Tolan. Kathleen Rebecca Josephine Walls, Derek Walsh. College of Business, Public Policy and Law, Bachelor of Laws, LLB. Presento vobis hunc meum filium quem scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilum et idoneum. Esse qui admitatur ad gradum baccalaureatus in utroque jure. Tam civili quam canonico honoro curso confecto. Idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum baccalaureatus in utroque iure, tam civili quam canonico honoro curso confecto.
Kenneth Agyekeon. College of Science and Engineering, Bachelor of Science. Presento vobis hunc meum filium, quem scio com moribus quam doctrina habellum et idoneum. Esse qui admitatur ad gradum baccalaureatus sciente. Idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum baccalaureatus scientiae.
Dylan Landy. Postgraduate Diploma in Biomedical Sciences. Presento vobis hunc meum filium, quem scio tam morbis quam doctrina habilum et idoneum. Esse qui admitatur ad gradum diploma post baccalaureatum in sciente biomedicali. Idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum diploma post baccalaureatum in scientiae biomedicali.
Thank you.
College of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, Honours Bachelor of Medical Science, Presento vobis hanc meum filium quam scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilium et edocium esse qui admittitur ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia medica honoro cursu confecto, id tibi fide mea testa expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia medica honoro curso confecto.
Amrina Racia Maud Aljeffrey. Honours Bachelor of Midwifery Science. Presento vobi hanc meum filium quam scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilium et idonium esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia obstetrica honoro cursu confecto, id tibi fide mea testo expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia obstetrica honoro curso confecto.
Niamh Craven. Honours Bachelor of Science. Presento vobis hasca meas filias filesca meos quos omnes scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilis, et idonias esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia honoro cursu confecto, idic tibi fide mea testa expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientia honoro curso confecto.
Honours Bachelor of Science, Health Studies, Raymond Moylan. Honours Bachelor of Science, Occupational Therapy, Saoirse Cleary. Siobhan Dively. Ellen Fitzpatrick. Laura Halpin. Owen Hennessy. Ellen Horgan. Aoife Mary Kelly. Ciara Kelsey. Niamh Larkin, Conor Ludden, Rebecca Lydon, Aoife Mahoney, Aoife Elizabeth McIntosh, Aideen Marie McKiernan, Mairead Mooney, Suzanne Elizabeth Morton, Ruth May Mulligan, Edel Murray, Stephanie Murray, Bláthnaid Saoirse ní Ustín, Alice Bridget Nolan, Aisling Officer, Ellie Quinn, Niamh Rothwell, Honours Bachelor of Science Podiatric Medicine, Gillian Ann Ahern, Niamh Bredican, Gavella Bricout, Margaret Brown, Sarah Leanne Darcy, Maura Bernadette Fitzgerald, Maeve Patricia Flynn, Sinead Teresa Flynn, Aisling Falcon, Christina Maria Haw, Rachel Heady, Eve Rose Kelleher, Sally Kiernan, Sophie Agnes Leonard, Prinscalia Marlatst Maravate, Aoife McGorry, Emma McHugh, Murren McMahon, Edward John Moore, Siobhan Nerian, Maeve Louise O'Connell, Maya Marie Papin Lucy, Aoife Claire Ramsbottom, Amy Todd, Laura Mary Walsh, Nessa Whelan, Honours Bachelor of Science Speech and Language Therapy, Rebecca Breslin, Aisling Burke, Michelle Carroll, Caoimhe Breed Cullen, Ciara Marie Delaney, Wendy Elizabeth Ann Devitt, Ciara Eileen Farrelly, Michaela Stephanie Ford, Alana Roisin Gagan, Aoife Gilmartin, Danny Christine Hayes, Emily Hare, Ali Louise Hughes, Karen Keegan, Ruth Ann Kelly, Orla Lyons, Holly Anna Ethna Martin. Michelle Bridget Murphy. Aisling na Marie ní Canavan. Ola Marie Nolan. Siobhan Marie O'Brien. Maeve O'Connell. Ciara O'Connor. Anya O'Donnell. Duran Aoife O'Gorman. Roisin O'Sullivan. Aoife Scott. Anya Mary Shaw. Elva Ward. Lauren Mary Wolfe. Postgraduate Diploma in Health Sciences. Presenter vobis hasca meas filias quas omnes scio tam moribus quam doctrina habelis et idonias esse qui admittantur ad diploma post baccalaureatum in valentudius scientis et tibi via mea testa expondeo totica academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admittavos a diploma post baccalaureatum in valetudinus scientius.
Postgraduate Diploma in Health Sciences, Children's Palliative Complex Care. Michelle Curtin. Orla Hammersley. Postgraduate Diploma in Health Sciences, Palliative Care. Sarah Noon. Postgraduate Diploma in Health Sciences, Wound Healing and Tissue Repair. Aisling Rose Salmon. Postgraduate Diploma in Medical Science. Presenter vobis hanc meum filium quam tam moribus quam doctrina abilium et idonium esse qui admittantur ad diploma post baccalaureatum in scientia medica it tibi fide mea testa expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te a diploma post baccalaureatum in scientia medica.
Elaine Doran. Postgraduate Diploma in Nursing Education. Presenter vobis hunc meum filium quam scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilium et idonium esse qui admittantur ad diploma post baccalaureatum in studiis nosocomicus edica tibi fide mea testa expondeo totica academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te a diploma post baccalaureatum in scientia nosocomendi.
Ranjene Matswari. Postgraduate Certificate in Health Sciences, Clinical Primary Care. Dervla Maria Fadden. Jennifer Glenn. Higher Diploma in Midwifery. Presenter vobis hanc meum filium quam scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilis et idonium esse qui admittantur ad diploma superiors in scientia medica etic tibi fide mea testa expondeo totica academiae.
Ego authoritatem mihi concessa, admitto te a diploma superius in scientia maiotica.
Rebecca Kearney. Congratulations.
Pre honorables praese, ceremoniis read confectus, finium facias hueus convectonius universitaria.
Thank you all very much. Gurmín Mahagav agus Cogordicus le Villig Asocts an Ect Tabucha given you. My name is, as mentioned earlier, Ciarán hÓgartaigh, President of NUI Galway. Agus Tala ag Súlaing Niamh mar bhín de gná. Tá Súlaing mar sin hain ag bhfuil a garí go má libh agus go bhfuil sibh ag bain tanamh an ócáid táhachtach seo doing illig. We are imagining you with us. We imagine today the colour of graduation. And very often we're imagining new lives now, new realities, our humanities in different ways. And we hope that as you are with those who have supported you through your studies, that you are enjoying the day that's in it. Cogordas Levillig, we celebrate with you, even though we can't be with you, and due to the challenging circumstances, the extraordinary circumstances that we face together. I'd like to thank you all for choosing to study at NUI Galway. I think it's been a particularly important experience for us that you've been with us on your journey in education and research. And I'd also like to thank those who are with you today, those in spirit or in reality who shared this day with you. We know that very often this journey can be a challenging one, particularly in the last number of months. And we'd like to thank all those who supported our students through the good times and the challenging times. We know that it matters, and therefore we'd like to thank you all. Gurmín Maithagh, as Ochtantáchi, Dogan Shiv, den our Miclain, den our Game and you. And in many ways, life has changed over the last number of months, including this graduation. And the way in which universities have dealt with the world and are perceived in the world, I think, has also changed. I've often said since I've come back to Galway that our walls are permeable, and I'd like more and more that the university would engage with the society in which we operate, even more than we do now, and NUI Galway is particularly good at it. And I think more than ever now, we know through the COVID-19 experience that our walls are indeed permeable, that we are, to borrow the language of a virus, we are not immune to what happens outside the walls, and outside the walls is neither immune to what happens in the university itself. And I think to a great extent, this has shown us that we're part of the world and not apart from the world. And I'm very keen that in the work you do, the research you do, the care that you'll give to others in as you graduate, that this is a very important part of the experience of education, that it is education which has an impact. Research has an impact on others, and very often, as we see in the current context, research and education for others, which is a particularly profound impact on the world and on those most vulnerable around us, and one that is very important to us all. Secondly, we've grown to understand that universities are agile, and very often there's this view of universities as not only being impermeable but immutable. And again, we've seen that in the context of COVID-19 that this is not the case. Colleagues in the university, yourselves as our students, have really risen to the task, if you like, in really challenging circumstances. We know this has been a difficult time for you all and for the university community, but at the same time we can be proud of the work we did together in finishing the academic year and completing your studies and graduating today. And I think this is a testament to us all as a university community, in a sense that there is a great sense of responsiveness here to the changing circumstances. And I think we can be very proud and grateful for that. There is a sense that we can also take that for granted, and that this is therefore what might be called very often incorrectly a new normal. It is not the case that this is a new normal. I think there will be a different world beyond COVID-19, but it is not the same as now. And I think we should respect and not take for granted the work that people have, colleagues have been doing, and yourselves as students have been doing in order to get us this far. But again, I'd particularly like to thank you all, those who are graduating today and those who support you, for working with us. We know it was challenging, we know it was difficult, but we will learn with uncertainty. And very often people also comment on whether the education experience has been diminished or undervalued or underestimated in the context of COVID-19 and the experience we've had to go through. I would argue that in many ways we've had to learn with uncertainty, learn about uncertainty. And there's nothing certain in life but uncertainty, as we know. And I think hopefully in the context of what we've learned in the classroom, but also beyond the classroom in the last number of months and the time we've been with us more generally, that uncertain times are ahead as well, and that we hopefully learn with that uncertainty how to deal with that uncertainty. And then thirdly, I think the most important element, I think, in the context of COVID-19 is and the role of the university and our permeability, if you like, is the role of research. I think we've come to understand, and society more generally has come to understand in the last number of months, the importance of evidence, respect for evidence, respect for the literature, respect for the data, respect for the people who we research and whom we research with. And that element, I think, of university values, the greatest of those values that we have is respect. And I think in the context of this time, respect for research is now more important than ever. respect for the evidence, as I say, and respect for good evidence, reliable evidence. And this is not only in the area of health sciences, and we know in particular that NUI Galway has been instrumental in many ways in medical technologies over the years and now. But we've also, I think, come to understand that as the crisis evolved, that this was really about reimagining our humanity. And many other disciplines can contribute along with and together with other disciplines in reimagining that humanity. And research is nonetheless significant here too. Reimagining what it is to be vulnerable, what it is to be alone, what it is to be isolated, what it is to reflect on our own existence in ways which we didn't and haven't done in the past. And I think that's a particularly important element of what we take out of the experience of the last number of months, is that sense of research being even more important than ever, research in all its aspects being even more important than ever. And I hope and expect that in future, in the narrative and discourse in society, that contribution of universities, which very often when the impact of COVID-19 was thought about, it was often in public discourse around the impact on teaching and the academic year. But in fact, we are now back to research, and the university continued its research during COVID-19. We did not close our gates, we did not dim our lights, and we continued to research remotely in challenging circumstances, but nonetheless made important contributions and will continue to make important contributions to the advancements of science, to the advancement of how we reimagine our humanity, to the advancement of care, and to the advancement of research and respect for others, a particularly important part of the role of NUI Galway. And we felt today, mar capaniu gur has bring lá speisialtaí ana bhas, agus mar sin tá Bert E speisialta le caint le viniu freshen. We've invited two special guests to speak to you today. First of all, an Taoiseach Leo Vardkar, who has been instrumental in many ways in the context of the current crisis. And secondly, Gina Hanrahan, who's CEO and Registrar of CORU. Many of you will be dealing with and will be registered with and will be engaging with the work of CORU over the time ahead. And therefore we thought it was particularly fitting that we would invite an Taoiseach, first of all, and Ginny Hanrahan, secondly, to speak to you in the context of today's graduation. And I'll be back to you afterwards to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello, Leo Vardkar here speaking to you from Government Buildings. It's a real privilege to join you and all the students and academic body in NUIG for your conferring ceremony. I know this isn't the conferring ceremony or graduation that you expected a few months ago, and I'm sure all of you would much prefer to be able to go back to campus, celebrate with your family and friends, because this is such an enormous milestone. And I remember my graduation ceremony really well, and I'm sorry that you haven't been able to do it in the normal way. But what is more important than anything else is that you have qualified, you have your degrees and diplomas, and you will be able to start work in your chosen professions in a few weeks, or if not a few months' time. The COVID crisis has hit Ireland very hard, and I think all of us have our thoughts with those who've been affected, those who've lost loved ones, those who've become sick, and of course those who've died. And it's had a very severe impact on our economy too. But I'm absolutely certain that as a country we can bounce back. We've seen over the past couple of weeks and months what we've been able to do if we work together as a country, and I'm absolutely certain that the recovery from this is going to be a rapid one, and we're going to need you, need your skills and need your qualifications to help us to do that. So congratulations once again, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Hello graduates, my name is Ginny Hanrahan. As CEO of CORU, I'm delighted to participate in your virtual conferring ceremony and to congratulate you on all successfully completing your studies. Today is a proud moment for you and your families, and I hope you enjoy your celebrations. This is your time. You have worked hard to get here. Recognise your achievement. It is, I hope, the first of many as you begin your career as a health and social care professional. Each of you have chosen a career in occupational therapy, podiatry, speech and language therapy and social work, where you will all be making a difference to people. Yours is a true vocation. Those you serve will often be the most vulnerable in our society. They will be placing significant trust in you, and your responsibility now is to build on the caring and kind instinct that made you choose to enter into your profession. By putting into practice the skills and creative thinking you have learned to deliver the best possible solutions. As Hillary Clinton said, do all the good you can, for all the people you can, in all the ways you can, as long as you can. But more than anything, it's important that you enjoy what you do. Those who love their work, who constantly challenge themselves and others around them, who remain curious and continue to learn new skills, bring their best selves to work every day, and as a result will be better, more empathetic caregivers and be more resilient. As we look ahead to emerging from this pandemic, your skills and your compassion will be in big demand, and our society and economy will rely on your skills to help us to recover in innovative and sustainable ways. As your regulator, CORU will support you in many ways, not least through the Code of Professional Conduct and Ethics, which will guide you in the many decisions you will be called upon to make throughout your career. We look forward to you all playing an active role in our country's recovery. Once again, I congratulate you on this milestone in your lives and wish you very good fortune in your careers and lives ahead.
Gurmín Maghav, Taoiseach Leo, Leo Vardkar, agus Ginny Hanrahan, agus Cogard agus Levillig. I hope today that we mark an occasion that is a new chapter in your lives, a chapter that is not impermeable, that is permeable and open to change, that is not immutable, that is open to uncertainty and to living through an uncertain context. And all that is required of us in that context is to do our best. And I hope that in that context, that as you go into the future, that you will do your best and do the best that you can with the research and the experience and the education that you have. And finally, the importance of research and the importance of the education that you bring with you. I'm often reminded on days like today of Seamus Heaney's words to his own students when he taught in Carysford College, as it was in Dublin. We are here to develop your capacities. Your destinies are your own. And we hope we have developed at NUI Galway your capacities, your destinies, and are your own. Cogardicus, Tasula Gwyn Gominish Tanavas and Law, Agnis Hawti Fos, Gominish Tanivas Tarava, Asan Sela Taroiv, Agus Tasulgum Garau, and Law Shaw, Hōgartaigh Mar Tashe doing it. We hope this day was as important for you as it is for us, and we hope to see you again in more normal times. Tasula Shiveshkan Tarish, Agus Cogardis Levedik. Gurmín Maghav.
So that concludes the conferring ceremony. But before we finish, I want to thank those people whose hard work and professionalism have ensured that this ceremony has been made possible, and in particular, Tara Laden, Fionnuala Ní Chúlain, and the conferring team. In addition, let me thank John Caulfield from the President's Office and Dave Brandt of Brandt Studios in Galway, who have coordinated this graduation, agus Shervish Aistrachan na Hallscoile Chomai. To you, the graduates, I've just one last thing to say. As you celebrate with us virtually, and I hope in the company of your family, go now, make the most of the qualification you've gained and of the life ahead of you. Buinigi salt Niamh an leid hen UN, achas an téile tar ovamach chomai. Gurmaigh of